Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and if you haven't already then please subscribe. Today I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of my Disney cross stitch subscription. And so I have been subscribed to this now for about a year and a half. So they first started releasing the magazines in shops in the summer of 2020. Yeah, that's right, 2020, and they saw me through the second lockdown at the beginning of last year, and I've really got quite a passion and a hobby for cross stitch now, and I've made a few different projects along the way, so I'm going to show you what has first got me into it. So I did a little bit of cross stitch when I was a kid. I had some kits to make some cross stitch bookmarks and things like that, and I always really enjoyed it. I've always been quite a crafty person. I'm not particularly artistic, so I can't really draw or anything like that. I have done bullet journaling for quite a while, though I'm having a break from it at the moment. But cross stitch is quite simple for beginners, and I just really enjoy it. I find it steadies my mind, it gives me something to do when I'm a bit anxious, and I really enjoy it, and I'm really enjoying what I'm making so far. So I'm going to talk you a little bit through the Disney cross stitch collection. So because I am now a subscriber and I have a monthly delivery of magazines, there's a few extra perks that you get with things like that, these folders being one of them. The first folder was free, and then the next couple, because it's quite a big collection, I've had to pay a little bit extra for. So I'm going to talk you through what you get in each magazine. So at the moment I pay about £15.96, I think it's £4.99 for each issue, and then every month in the post I get 4 issues and I pay £15.96 a month. So it is quite expensive, but per magazine you get loads of different patterns and things to do. So there's enough projects in these magazines to keep me going for years. And when the samplers themselves, you make 4 samplers over the course of the subscription. I completed one so far, which I will show you in a moment, and I'm on the second one. The amount of magazines I've got unopened and undone at the moment is quite obscene. However, I'm really reluctant to cancel the subscription because I would like to do the complete collection. So although I'm not keeping up with how quickly they come, and I'm not doing them in a timely manner, if you like, but I will complete the collection, and it will just take me a little bit longer. I go through phases where I want to cross stitch every evening, and when I go through phases where I don't want to pick it up for weeks either. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about what each magazine entails and some of the things I've created so far. So I currently have 3 folders full of cross stitch magazines, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how each magazine is set up. So with the initial Lever Arch folder, we were given subject dividers to split up the different parts of the magazines. The first part in each magazine is the motif library. So this is where it gives you some quite small designs that you can put onto lots of different types of projects. So some of the ones we've had so far: Winnie the Pooh, bookmarks, it gives you lots of different things to make, pencil pots. So each one gives you an idea of what you could create with it and the pattern on the next page. There's been lots of different films covered already, and I would say that probably most films have been covered. So there's lots of nice small projects to tackle as well. And the next section is finishing touches. So these are normally at the back of the magazines, and they give you some different things to create. Most of these have been border frames, which I've made a couple for birth announcements for some family members. So I've stitched a frame and then put, once the baby is born, full name, date of birth, and time as well. So they've been really nice as gifts for new babies. You also get some sort of font collections as well to use as part of those. So this Toy Story one I made for my cousin's baby boy, and I also made a Beauty and the Beast one for Craig's niece. So these are really nice projects to tackle as well. They fit perfectly in sort of a square frame, and they look really nice. And then you get the learning library section. This was only really in the first issue, where it gave you some sort of beginner how to do the stitches, how to start your threads, and which came really handy because apart from doing it a little bit as a child, I hadn't done cross stitch at all. So this was really helpful to get me started. And then I have kept at the back of this folder all of the front covers of the magazines, mainly because it gives you the names and colours of the threads and what numbers belong to what, so that's quite handy as a frame of reference. So that's the first folder, and in the other folder there are a couple of other subject dividers, as these are some magazines that I haven't used yet. Each magazine also comes with some really lovely posters, which I am just keeping in here for now, but might do something with in the future if I see a need for it. But these are really lovely, so there's always a couple of posters in every issue. So these are the samplers that you make over the course of the subscription. This was the first one, which I have now completed, and I've made a start on this one. So there's some sort of classic characters. This is sort of your Mickey and Minnie and Friends, Daisy, Donald, Goofy, Pluto, and then there's a Disney Princess sampler, and then a final one with a few more characters and the space for a name. So that's going to be really nice, and I'm hoping to frame them all and have them up in our new house once we move in. So this is for the Disney sampler. So every week you get the next section of what you are going to create. So for example, you normally stitch a character over a couple of issues. It gives you the starting points, the chart, and what you should get to by the end of this issue, and then you normally finish in the next one. So you start with sort of basic cross stitch of each colour, and then each character is brought to life by the back stitch. Now the back stitch is quite tricky and has sometimes taken me a long time and been quite frustrating, but as you can see, it really does bring the colour alive. So you go from this to this with the back stitch, and it just makes it look lovely. So although it can be quite painstaking at times, it is really worth it. So yeah, you normally complete a character over a couple of issues. Baloo and Mowgli was one that was particularly difficult for the back stitch. There was lots of different things to do here, and that was not much fun. So like I said, I have completed the first sampler and I have moved on to the second. So this is where I'm up to at the moment. I'm on the second character of the second sampler. I don't separate the magazines into these sections until I've got onto that, because I didn't want to have too much in here and get confused. And then the final subject divider is these Disney stitches. Now these are normally larger scale projects to take on. I haven't completed any of these yet, but I am planning to. Like I said, I'm keen on getting the whole subscription so that I have some of these different projects to do. I'm just flicking through. I don't think I have tackled any of these. I absolutely love these Alice in Wonderland frames and would very much like to do those at some point. Like pig bags, little things for sewing kits. There's some really, really lovely things to create for an apron. And they give you sort of suggested ideas. I love this as a tote bag as well, and would very much like to make that too. They give you ideas for each one, but obviously you could use them for whatever you wish. Some like Christmas cards and things. There's some really nice ideas to complete in here. So yeah, I'm very keen to get some more of these done at some point. There's absolutely loads. And then I've got lots in my final folder. This is all of the magazines that I haven't even got to yet. So you can see there's absolutely loads of them there, and I've got 3 more packages of 4 magazines. There's another 12 to add to this very thick batch. I haven't done it in a while, and I am looking to pick it up again soon. I find that when I've got a bit more free time, I've been very busy at work at the moment, when I've got a little bit more free time in the evenings, I do like to unwind with a little bit of cross stitch. So let me show you what I have created so far. So here is my completed first sampler. I'm really pleased with the way it came out. Like I said, some of the back stitch was quite difficult. The thumper was quite a painful one, but I'm really pleased with how they came out. So we've got Tigger was the first one that I stitched, then Dumbo, then we moved to Mowgli and Baloo. Oh, they've got a bit of a stray thread there. Thumper, Winnie the Pooh, Pinocchio, Lady and the Tramp, Patch and Bambi. So I'm really pleased with how this turned out. As you can see, I've got masking tape around the edges. One thing I would say, that if I had my time again, I would start it on Ada I had bought myself. This is the Ada that came with the subscription. As you can see, there's not much space. It's going to be quite difficult to frame, and you might have noticed that it's quite off centre. There was quite a mix-up with the instructions for where to start Tigger were really vague, and then a little later on, I'll see if I can find an example to show you, when you were starting, they told you what stitch to start with, which they didn't do at the start, because I think they realised that their instructions were quite vague, and a lot of people I've seen on sort of Facebook groups that I've joined for Disney Cross Stitch have started in the wrong place, and it's ended up shifting everything over to the right a bit more. So I do think this is going to be quite difficult to frame, and like I said, if I had my time again, I would do it on my own Aida and leave myself a lot more gap to help frame it afterwards. The other thing I didn't include as well, I did include the stars, but on the pattern there was this sort of multicoloured border that went around it a bit. You can see it a little bit on this second one. I didn't really like that, and I didn't really think it needed it, and so I have left that out, but just included the stars where I wanted them. Like I said, I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I haven't framed it yet because I'm waiting for all 4 samplers to be done, really, probably in 10 years time, before I frame them all and decide what sort of frames I want to put them in. But yeah, so that is my first sampler. And then this second sampler is a current work in progress. I haven't done much of it yet. Daisy is complete, and Pluto is on his way. He needs his back stitch next. That's probably why I've been putting off for quite a while. And you can see here I've got a nice needle minder that I got from Etsy. So this is like a magnet, and it keeps my needles safe so that I don't lose it down the back of the sofa all the time in between stitching. So yeah, I'm in the middle of this second one. I do have, like I said, I do have quite a lot to catch up with, but I'm hoping to get back to it soon. So I've got one of my packages that I haven't yet opened. So I thought I'd do you a bit of an unboxing to show you exactly what you get in each monthly subscription. So in here will be 4 issues. They're all individually wrapped, and each issue normally comes with a couple more coloured threads that you're going to need throughout the sampler, and in each one you get lots more patterns. So this is issues 67 to 70, and I'm currently stitching issue 27, I think. So yeah, I've got a long way to go, and these are actually the magazines for the final sampler now. So I've got the whole of the second one to finish, all of the third, and then on to the fourth. So I won't be getting to these magazines for quite a while, but I will open one up. So I think this is the most recent one. Yes, they're $3.99 an issue, which isn't too bad really for what you get in them. So like I said, each one comes with a couple of different threads. They are numbered so you can keep track of what is what, and I have actually, as painstaking as it is, put them all onto these little bobbins, so with the number on them, so it keeps them nice and ordered, and I'm keeping them all in a box together. So like I said, in each issue you normally get the feature of the project that you can create. There's some nice Seven Dwarfs coasters that you can make on that one. That's quite nice. So yeah, in each one you get the next bit of the sampler that you're doing, a Disney Stitches project, which is, like I said, normally quite a big project, all 7 of the dwarves on that one, so that would take quite a while. The motif library, so that's the sort of small stitches that you could potentially put on anything. They give you some suggestions, but you could put them on anything. Posters, like I said, it's normally related, the poster, to whatever's been included in this issue. And then there's another one of the borders there. Oh, it's a Brother Bear one. That's so cute. I love that. And then you normally get a font as well. And then the back page tells you a little bit about what's coming up and some of the projects that are coming up. So on the back of each one, it tells you what's going to be coming in the next couple of issues as well. Oh, that's a really cute Easter border. I love that. Some really cute ones coming up for Winnie the Pooh Easter border. They're really sweet. I'll look forward to getting those. Yeah, so at the moment I just keep them all as a magazine until I'm ready and onto that issue before I separate it into its different parts of the subject divider. We're subscribing online as well. I don't think you can get them in the shops very often anymore, but I do think you can still subscribe and start the collection from issue number 1 online. It's done by Hatchet Partworks, and I've had quite a good experience so far. Whenever I've had any issues, they've got straight back to me, and yeah, it's been quite a good experience. You do get as well some free gifts every so often, and then occasionally gifts that you have the option to pay for too. So like I said, the first Lever Arch folder was free, and then each other one has been £9.99 I think, which is a little bit steep, and I know I could get a cheaper folder elsewhere, but I really want them to all look the same, so I've got the whole Disney cross stitch collection in the folders. Another free gift that we got with one was this very cute Disney cross stitch tote bag, which I sort of carry around with me when I'm stitching. It's got all of my threads that I currently need. I'm running a cross stitch club at school at the moment, so I take my sort of latest project in here with me to stitch during that as well. A couple of other things I've had with one of the very first issues. You've got this little cross stitch beginners kit, as it's got some little snippers, lots of needles, which you will lose, a needle threader, which was very handy, and then this little metal thing, which I have no idea what it does, and if anybody does, then please leave it in the comments below, because I'd love to know what it's actually for. And then they also had the option, there was a springtime book that they were offering, which I didn't get because I didn't feel like I would use it. The one I did get though was the Christmas book. I didn't make anything from it last Christmas because I didn't have time, but I am hoping to get some projects done. And this is a really lovely book. It's got lots of lovely Christmas projects that you can do, Christmas cards that you can make. There was a couple for sort of stockings and bunting, which are really cute. This was the one for a Christmas sack, which I thought was really sweet. And it also had some sort of recipes and things in here as well, champagne truffles and some different bits and pieces. So yeah, this was only £9.99 I think, from memory. So yeah, this was £9.99, I thought quite well spent. Like I said, didn't have to do these things straight away, but now I've got them, I've got all the patterns and can do them in the future. So if you are interested in cross stitch at all, or finding a new crafty hobby, then I would really recommend the Disney cross stitch. I've absolutely loved everything I've made so far. I'll drop in a couple of pictures of some of the other things I've made. Like I said, I made a couple of border frames for new baby announcements. I made a new baby card. Yeah, and I've just really enjoyed some of the different things that I've been making, and I can't wait to get the samplers done as well, although it will take me a while. So I will give you some updates once I finish the next sampler perhaps, and we'll see how I'm getting on. But yeah, I would really recommend it. It's a great hobby. It's quite simple. It doesn't take too much effort, which I like. And like I said, I do go through phases with it. I go through phases with a lot of things like that. It's the best thing 1 minute, and then I can't bear to look at it for a few weeks. But I do really like it as a hobby, and like I said, I'm hoping to pick it up soon. I'm going to backstitch Pluto now and see if I can get myself back in the swing of everything. I'll leave the link below to the Hatchet Partworks website and the subscription if you would like to subscribe to it. And talking of subscribing, please hit the subscribe button for my channel too. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to see my Disney cross stitch updates and some of my other crafting hobby updates as well, and definitely stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more about our upcoming Disney World trip in April to follow. So please hit subscribe, and please like this video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!